What is going on, guys? Let's check out my favorite new guitar. This is a Washburn Paul Stanley PS1900 cracked mirror, and this is just a super awesome rear guitar. This is a Korean-made version of the cracked mirror PS model. They made this in what was called a PS1800, and that was a little bit cheaper model. It had some generic pickups in it. And I believe it didn't have these inlays that are just super sweet. This is kind of an upgraded version of that guitar. You can see the PS 1900 logo right there, the Paul Stanley logo. And Paul was with Washburn for a good while, and they made a lot of different guitars together and a lot of really killer, awesome guitars before he jumped back to Ibanez. But these were killer awesome guitars. They just have a lot of Paul Stanley DNA to them. They're very similar to an Iceman. Just kind of some things are moved around on it. And what makes this one super cool is it's got real glass, real mirror glass in it. And it's just so awesome. It's got Seymour Duncan pickups in it. So it came with upgraded pickups. I saw something where this thing's got like real glass, and the 1800 had some kind of plastic glass. I don't know if that's true. If it's not, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But I know that it had the upgraded pickups and the upgraded fret markers. Let's flip it around here real quick. Check it out on the back. It also had kind of a metallic black or dark gray back to it, and you can see the back of the neck. It's got a great neck on it. Feels great. And this one is number 10 of 25. And it's a Boogie Street guitar, Boogie Street Customs. Shout out to my buddy Eric, who used to run that, who's an awesome guy. But yeah, so they made 25 of them that look like this, and then they made another 25 that had gold hardware. Not crazy about the gold hardware. I thought it looked kind of silly on a mirror guitar, but it is what it is. So I would buy the gold one if I could find it. I'm going to start buying every one of these I can get my hands on and keeping them. It's just so cool and so fun to play. This guitar has what I like to call the holy shit factor. When you whip it out, people are like, oh my God, that's the coolest guitar I've ever seen. And it's just that cracked mirror finish. It's just so awesome and so unreal. And this thing plays great. All I had to do was clean the frets and set it up. And that did not take much at all. I just had to set up the action on it. I don't even think that I adjusted the truss rod on it. But PS 1900. And it's, I can't remember what year this was made. I think they were in the 2000s maybe, before he went back to Ibanez. Super awesome killer guitar. And this is kind of, I think, my new favorite thing, man. You guys know I love Washburn guitars. And I'm a huge Paul Stanley fan. And for those of you that don't know, I won this thing back in, God, it's been about 15 years now, called Sing with Kiss. I won this contest called Sing with Kiss, and I got to perform with Tommy Thayer in front of about 2,000 Kiss fans outside of the Kiss Coffee House in Myrtle Beach, which is now defunct and not there anymore. But I got to hang out with Tommy for the day, got to sit beside him while he signed autographs all day, got to perform with him in front of the news crews, and I got to perform with him acoustically in front of like 2,000 people. Had a great time. It really made my kind of music career for about the next 10 years after that as like a cover band type singer. And I'm a huge Kiss fan, and that's probably the crowning moment in my life, is that show and winning that contest. And later on, Tommy was, gracious enough to let me come to a couple Kiss shows and let me backstage, and got to hang out with those guys. And but yeah, so this means a lot to me. I've owned some Tommy Thayer guitars. Problem is, most of those guitars are Chinese Epiphones, and they're not the greatest quality in the world. and not something that is as flashy as this. This is more Kiss to me. So I'm really going to start getting into the Paul Stanley guitars, and really super stoked to have this one. Yeah, check out the inlays on this thing. It's got a really nice fretboard too, just great quality. And this was made at a Korean factory. They also made a rhinestone version of this guitar, which I'm on the lookout for. The only problem with that is those rhinestones do fall off. And the two that I have seen in the past had a lot of them missing on them. So I kind of like the mirror. At least with the mirror, if something was to fall off, you can glue it back in. If you lose the piece off of the guitar, you can, cut a piece of mirror to fit back in it, or, do something else. Yeah, there it is. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you like the video. I got a couple more guitars we're going to make some videos on tonight, and I hope you dig this one. Thanks.